Jai Shri Ram. These are GRE words, and anyone interested in improving their vocabulary should also learn. So these are my own flashcards actually. I modified the meanings because over the years, I have also become a little smarter. There is always a simpler, easier way to know words so that we can remember and use them. Eccentric. Eccentric means odd, weird. So eccentric also means away from the center. The opposite is concentric. Oddity means someone or something that is very peculiar and odd. Idiosyncrasy is a good synonym, but idiosyncrasy actually means a personal quirk, Quirk, which means eccentricity again. Idiosyncrasy means an odd, peculiar, personal mannerism. So we all have our own idiosyncrasies. We Hindus are the most idiosyncratic people because Hinduism is the only religion that gives you total freedom. That's the reason we are so tolerant and extremely idiosyncratic. We cannot be forced to follow any sort of regimen and all that. So Hindus are the most idiosyncratic. And you will find this not only in our dressing, in our food, for example. Food, because I am a chef, I like to give that example. You see, whereas Europeans have this 12-course menu, first you have the hodor, then the soup, and then the entree, and then the red meat and the white meat, and so on and so forth. Finally, the hot dessert, and then the cold dessert, and finally coffee, and God knows what. So this is how it goes. Whereas, if you go, if any American comes to our Hindu restaurants, especially if you go to Gujarat, the experience will be fantastic. They will give you in some restaurants a big thali which will be followed by some 30-40 katoris. 40 small katoris with lots of stuff to eat. And I made the mistake once of asking from where should I start. The answer was anywhere. I said, wow, that's the reason we Hindus are so idiosyncratic. You can start with the pappu, the dal, you can start with rasam, you can start with God knows what, start the sweet. So this is Hinduism for you, and it is reflected in everything. Anyway, so I don't think you will ever forget this now. Idiosyncratic. Edict, decree, both mean an order. Synonyms are fiat, F-I-A-T, diktat, D-I-K-T-A-T. Diktat is usually used for a mafiosi, gangster. Decree is a court order, but it's sufficient for you to know broadly. Edify, morally improve. Eliminate superstition. Edification means to bring about moral improvement. Eerie means very spooky, ghostly. To efface something out, completely wipe out. Expunge is a synonym. E-X-P-U-N-G-E. Effete means totally a spent force, like a discharged battery. Do you remember the last Prime Minister? That's Sun Sohan Ming. That was effete. He was effete totally. Effete means completely useless, discharged battery, spent force. Effigy means a dummy. Effluvium is a noxious smell, foul smell. Noisome, N-O-I-S-O-M-E. Noisome means a foul smell. Noisome has nothing to do with noise. Effusive, pouring forth. Effusively praising. Effusive in praise. Egotism. Egotism is actually thinking too much of oneself. Conceit, vanity. Egoism is there. If you remove the T, it becomes egoism. Egoism is selfishness. Though some dictionaries, define both egoism and egotism as the same, there is a difference. So just remember that. Egotistical, conceited, thinking too much of oneself. Egregious, that's how they pronounce it. Egregious means outstandingly bad. The synonyms are flagrant, F-L-A-G-R-E, F-L-A-G-R-A-N-T, blatant, B-L-A-T-A-N-T, something that is a glaring blunder, egregious mistake. So all these mean outstandingly bad, so bad that you cannot ignore it. It's like an elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is an idiom you should know, which means a big problem everyone knows, but nobody wants to talk about it. Jai Shri Ram. Listen to this again and again, at least 2-3 times, so that you master these words. Jai Shri Ram.